Remington from Impulse Creative. Today, we're going to talk about full screen takeovers and an example of where you could use one to increase conversions. So, full screen takeovers are very intrusive to the user, so they should be used very sparingly. But Drift has a pretty eloquent solution that allows for you to make sure that people see what you want them to see, and it can turn into a great conversion opportunity. Now, everyone hates that full screen takeover that takes over on every single page. So by all means, this should be a tool that you use once per campaign or per topic, but that you use very sparingly throughout your whole engagement. A perfect example of what you could do for a full screen takeover is towards the end of the month. If you have people going to a high intent page like your pricing page, you could have a full screen takeover offering them an added benefit or offering them an added incentive to take action immediately. What you can do in addition to that too is you can make that full screen takeover lead you straight into a conversation or straight into getting a meeting scheduled to talk with someone. This can be very, very engaging and a great way to stop the user and make sure that they are paying attention to what you have to say. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can use this full screen takeover in order to leverage that conversion. And what we're going to do is do this all from the pricing page mentality. Awesome. So when we're in the tool, obviously what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create that compelling message overall. Right? You're going to want to make sure that you go through and you're having a conversation with the prospect about trying to get them to answer you. So as you're going through and you're talking about this promotion, you are going to have a normal click me call to action. Please do not use click me. Please add something further, give the person an idea of what to expect, and it's really going to help get people to come through and connect with you. So as we scroll down here, you will see that this will be the popover. You've got your message and you've got different CTA types. So when we're starting a conversation, this can be a really great opportunity for you to start a conversation with a live rep. A live conversation is going to allow for you to qualify things very quickly, and it's going to be something that puts the opportunity, especially if we're thinking about this from a pricing page perspective, puts the prospect directly in contact with someone who can further the conversation. So starting a conversation is probably one of the best ways of using this. When we're talking about targeting, that's where the secret really comes together. You can have a couple different things. Let's say it's the end of the month and you're using a 10% off or get 15% off if you schedule a meeting with a rep today, right? So if scheduling your meeting is something that is going to be what you want to have happen, of course, you've got that CTA. But if you have reps that are in person and live and available to have a conversation, starting the conversation right away can be even more engaging and can help you for your year-end numbers. So when we look at the display targeting, it's important to choose some targeting, and there's a couple different things we could do for the targeting for the end of month scenario. One is we don't want to give a discount to someone if they're coming into the page and they're normally going through with the normal process. So what you could do is you can make it so that it is set up on exit intent if a live person is available. And that's the scenario that we're going to set up today. So obviously you would have your pricing page here. So we're just going to use Drift's domain as an example. Right, so we've got if the URL includes drift.com/pricing. So that is our first behavior. The second behavior condition we want to add is we want to make sure that Drift is online, because this playbook or this takeover is going to push for a conversation. So we can have Drift online is true. And then we can add one more condition, which is going to be website behavior. We can adjust for the seconds on the pricing page, or what we can do is we can scroll down to on exit intent. So when we do on exit intent equals true, we can click close. And now you have, if someone comes to our pricing page, Drift online is true and the exit intent is true, then now what we have is we've got an opportunity to grab someone right before they leave and give them that offer. By doing this, it allows for your full screen takeover to not be intrusive to the user because they are about to leave in a lot of cases, and it gives you that opportunity to start that conversation right away as a sales rep. Now, the other thing to pay attention to is if you go into the advanced section and you see where the advanced section, it says deliver until the visitor interacts one time. This is highly recommended for a full screen takeover. I would not use the once per session or on every page load because that'll be the easiest way to get someone pushed away. All right, so the other scenarios. Let's say that we are going into we have someone coming to the page and you're announcing a new product that is available, right? So if you have a new product that's available on that same pricing page, what I'm going to do for the sake of conversation here is I'm going to use the or functionality, which is a new feature that Drift just implemented. So if we add a condition set, we can do that same thing for the pricing page. And then we can add another condition. And this is going to be after a few minutes or a few seconds rather, of being on the page. So you can see we have seconds on the page is greater than 10 seconds. So this popover would not happen until after 10 seconds on page. The other thing that you could say is the scroll percentage. So if you have the scroll percentage and you know that this page is going to show up, after they've scrolled halfway down on the page, you could do scroll percentage and let's say 40%. And if we close, now you have someone that is going to see this pop up once they get 40% down the page. And our final condition, the same way that we did before, if Drift is online is equal to true, this will make it so it only show if someone is online within your platform. So if we go back to our announcement, you'll have the opportunity to have that start a conversation. Now, a lot of cases with our clients, we'll set up this takeover message and we'll have an online version when Drift is online, and we'll also create a version that is when Drift is offline. When you do Drift is offline, you could have the same targeting, except make it so that Drift is offline. And what you could do is you could link to a URL. And in a lot of cases, what we'll do is we'll link to the URL and we'll put in the Drift link. So if you have a lead bot that is set up to qualify and capture, you can make it so that this full screen takeover will forward you on through to a lead bot conversation, and it will qualify the user in order to get that meeting scheduled. So that's all for today's tutorial. If you have questions about conversational marketing or Drift, please hit me up on Twitter @RemingtonBeg or below in the comments. If you'd like to see some other tutorials we've done, you can go ahead and you can do that right here. And if you would like to subscribe to our daily tutorial videos, you can go ahead and do that right here. Until next time, I'm Remington from Impulse Creative. Have a great day.